Handstand, tuck, back to wall. Training the tuck handstand is both a fun and useful way to improve your handstands. Although the back to wall variation is not the place I would start most beginners. First, you need to build shoulder strength and endurance with a wall facing straight body handstand. Once you've got that, I'd recommend working on the wall facing tuck variations. In my coaching experience, the wall facing variations of the tuck handstand are a better place to start because they build shoulder strength, mobility, endurance, and a certain level of awareness. Once you're able to hold a wall facing tuck handstand for 20 to 30 seconds, then you're ready to start working on the back to wall. Many of the same principles apply. So you're still going to grip the floor with the fingers bent, the elbows are going to be locked, you're elevating the shoulders and keeping the shoulder angle open at 180 degrees. As a beginner, I recommend keeping the eyes fixed on the floor, focusing on sucking the belly button in towards the spine, keeping the knees together, and keeping the inside edge of the feet together. But once we move to the back to wall variation, you can start to bend the knees and slide the feet down the wall to move into the full tuck shape, unlike the wall facing tuck. This allows you to also start to play with balance in this back to wall variation. So to perform the back to wall tuck handstand, you're going to place the hands on the floor, roughly 1.5 to 2 hand widths away from the wall. I usually like to use a stick, a band, or draw a line on the floor so that you mark where the hands need to go. We then kick up to handstand, to the straight handstand, and I want you to stack your eyes above that mark that you drew on the floor. So the eyes are vertically stacked with a line that runs just behind the palms of the hands. This generally helps to keep the shoulder angle open at 180 degrees, and it's also a way to experience or keep track of the balance because the perspective is close. Beginners will typically stack their eyes over their knuckles, and this usually closes the shoulder angle, which is not what we want. Once you get better at handstands, you can put the head in any position you like, but for beginners, I recommend stacking the eyes vertically above the stick or the line that is in line with the palms of the hands. While in the straight handstand, you need to elevate the shoulders. So focus on pushing into the floor as hard as you can and keeping the shoulders elevated for the entire set. You want to keep the knees and the feet together as you move into the tuck handstand. This creates lower body tension, and it's much easier to balance a solid object than it is to balance a bag of sand. So don't be the bag of sand. Keep the knees and the feet together. So once you've set that straight handstand, you're slowly going to flex the knees and the hips and slide the feet down the wall. Try to point the toes and move into the tuck shape. As you get closer to having the thighs parallel to the floor, really slow the movement down because as the knees move forward, it acts as a counterweight that will pull the toes off the wall and pull you off the wall if you move too fast. So just slowly come down, and you should be able to lightly touch the toes to the wall behind you. If you want to start to play with balance, you can. Keep the shoulder angle open and use the fingers pushing into the floor to pull the toes off the wall and try to find the balance. I recommend paying attention to the weight under the hands. Feel where the weight is. If the weight is in the fingertips, then you could probably bring the knees down a little bit further and try to move the weight more to the center of the hands. If the weight's in the palms of the hands, the knees might be down too far and your body weight will be out of alignment, and if you pull off the wall, you will generally fall off the wall. So you want to focus on keeping the weight in the middle of the hands if you can, because this is a sweet spot where you'll be able to find balance. So feel free to play with the balance, but you can also just keep the toes lightly touching the wall and get comfortable in this tuck shape. So hold the tuck handstand for the prescribed amount of time and just play around with this position and see how you go.